Hello, folks. I'm back. We are back
There you go.
to unbox my newest Game Founder. I'm not sure if this was I think this was the second thing I backed. So we did Lords of Ragnarok. It feels like just a week or so ago.
Yeah.
Right before vacation, we unboxed that, and then this is hot on the heels, but not so hot that everyone around me hasn't received it first. So a guy from work and Owen, my buddy that I shoot lots of videos with, got theirs first. I just got mine yesterday, and we've already kind of peeped at the acrylic tiles. But I want to.
They're cool.
But we wanted to unbox this, and I think what I'm going to do is at the end of this, I'm going to try to rebox it.
Okay.
I'll see if I can do my take on the reboxing. It's been done about 1,000 times so far. In fact, there's more of that than any of the gameplay or anything. But I wanted to get this out and unboxed for you guys because the next thing I'm going to do. So actually, I already shot something with Owen on Monday, and with that, I'm going to demonstrate the vineyards. But I wanted to do a part of that where I actually teach you how to play with that expansion and not just talk about it. So I wanted to get this open so I could shoot that part of the video too. So look for that in a future video. And if you're just curious about me reboxing this and ultimately giving it the tumble, which I intend to do, I will tumble this. And we'll go around and around and we'll see how it does.
Let's do it.
We're going to put the insert to the test. All right, here we go.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! I guess we could.
That was it.
I think we should probably try to do an express unboxing and get this white box out of the way. What do you say? Ready?
Okay.
One, two, three. Oh, all right. Look at that. Look at this nice, supple neoprene mat.
Ooh. Ah.
That is very cool.
That
but
is cool.
We're going to take a closer look at this. I mean, it's double stitched. It's pretty standard. It's two-sided, so you can play with the different player counts and stuff. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out after we get the paper one out and then compare them. Okay? So I'm going to start the camera there. All right, so I'm just going to pull this mat out of the way. And I'll pull the acrylic tiles out of the way too. We can look at these things in a minute.
I'm going to pull my glasses out of the way too.
I've got this letter. And basically, this is much the same as the other one arrived, right?
Yeah.
So we had a little message, probably with valuable instructions.
Be sure to read it. Be sure to read it.
You should read that. I'm not going to read it.
He will. I'll make him.
Now's the part where we pick at this box until we open it because, I win! I beat you. Your talons didn't get me this time. This is a big box. So, I guess I went through a phase where I was just buying games that have already been made, like Raw and Castles of Mad King Ludwig, and then this was like the last one I bought in that kind of line of games that have already been made. That I've gotten a super premium version made.
Yeah,
so.
nice artwork, huh?
Yeah, it is nice.
Yeah. And it wraps around the box. Like it should, mind you.
It's a little boring on the sides and stuff. Like, it's going to sit in a shelf like that.
Well, that's sky. You can't help that.
So it's either black or it's this blue thing poking out of your shelf. All right. This is also the first time that I've purchased the sun drop wash. Like our whole video last time was no sun drop, no problem. I totally went back on that. But I didn't want to paint. I got to the point where it's like I can't remember what the sun drop was. I guess that month I had it.
Yeah.
And I decided that I was like, I don't have to paint every single thing that I get. A lot of times, I am curious to see what it's like.
Well, and all these are the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like have different characters that...
well, it would be either that or they're too detailed to really sit and paint. That would take forever.
Right.
Notice this rule book. It's got that treatment. It reminds me, I think there's probably been several rule books since then, but that like Wingspan had that kind of like premium paper treatment. It's a really, really nice rule book.
Coated paper.
And it seems pretty wordy looking at it and stuff. And in fact, sometimes when you describe the game, it can seem really complicated, but it's really not. And this includes all of the supplemental stuff. So like this has got a whole bunch of expansions. Yeah, so it's got the vineyard expansion and the shields and all those things are explained in here. And especially the vineyard thing that we played was super simple. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of little individual pieces that are kind of make things a little different. It's a nice little rule book. And here we have the, this is, so a lot of times with a solo game, they'll have something called an automa. This has a chateauama. So this is the solo players stuff, the chateauama. Right. All right.
Interesting. So does this all go with the automa?
Well, no. This is this here is the help guides. So this is two-sided.
Right.
So this explains what all the buildings are as you go through. And if you play two-player like Owen and I did, you can sit with two of them and kind of have all of it in one reference. And this is like all the icons in the game. Really not a lot of icons. And it's once you kind of get what these mean, you get it.
I haven't played this yet, but I'm really excited to. So
yeah, so I'm half explaining how this works and stuff to her too as we go. I'm trying to get her psyched up. Get psyched, get pumped! Aren't you so excited?
I'm so excited!
Yeah!
Woo!
And here's the board.
Hey, look at that! Extra foam. Well, that was to keep it in place.
We won't need it after we get all this unpacked.
Famous last words.
All right, so now we've got this, so we can compare it to the. Since we don't have a bunch of stuff out yet, why don't we push this aside for a second? And then that is, so this would be the higher player count side. And here we have the same thing in, oh wow, that's very vibrant in comparison, isn't it?
Same size.
Yep, it's pretty much the same size. And maybe, I think overall, probably take another inch or two.
Maybe half an inch.
Yeah, maybe a half an inch total extra, but I think, boy, it definitely seems super vibrant, especially comparing these colors and stuff.
Yeah, but this board's kind of protected too, kind of like the rule book and stuff. That's nice quality.
Oh, it does. It feels really good. It's got a nice tactile. Yeah, it's sort of a matte.
It's not slick, super slick.
It feels better than a normal. I don't know, maybe not. It feels like a good board. You know, it feels like a good quality board. I do love the vibrant colors though on the mat, and I love neoprene anyway.
Yeah.
So very cool.
I'm a sucker for neoprene.
I really am. I've bought so many of these, and this is small enough it'll roll up, and I'll be able to store it behind the door over there.
Right.
And add more soundproofing to my room.
Just what you need.
That's what I need.
So what have we here?
Ooh, buildings to punch out. And if you want, you can go ahead and punch all those buildings out.
Do we need to? Or these are
let's see. Tiles. Yeah, we've got tiles for these, but if you punch them out, what we might do is store all these things in the tile box and then throw the tile box in the attic. in case I sell it to some collector one day that has to have all of these, or we could leave them punched. I don't think there's anything on here I really need. But then we're storing them like this.
At the bottom?
Nope. There'll be no room for these once it's done. So I won't be including these inside of the box at all.
Challenge accepted.
So, but here they are. And what's interesting about the paper ones,
I like these too,
is they have the rules for them on the back, which makes it a little bit simpler when you're learning the game. So for that purpose, I was thinking about keeping them, But I was going to put them, I was just going to swap them for the acrylic box and put them in that to store them in. And they won't require a lot of space. But I think for now, just to expedite things, maybe we'll just set them aside. But there's a couple of those. Yeah, I know. They're wanting to come on out.
It's rather exciting.
And here are all the animals and the castles that would go on your board.
Grapes.
Grapes and mines.
What are the mines for?
So if you have a mine on your duchy, at the end of the round, you get a little silver coin. And there's all kinds of little yellow things sometimes that multiply that.
Is that how they smash their grapes? Blow them up?
Those grapes are like little bonus tiles that you get that kind of that indicate a bonus that you'll get for doing certain things. And these are sort of the other tokens for the game.
All these out?
We have acrylic replacements for every one of these things. Oh, except for that.
Aha.
So that we need to pull out.
Yeah. Thank you. Finally.
Finally, you got to punch something out. Yep, and there's some more. These are all more tiles for the vineyard expansion. They are double-sided. And the shield expansion, that's what that is at the top.
More grapes?
More and more and more. Now these things, these things will need to get punched out. I'm not sure what they're for. They might be solo things. Oh, and then we start to get to the player boards.
Look how easy they come out.
Yeah, they pop right out.
Yeah, they do. How nice. Okay.
I'm not sure what those do. It might be for the solo, but I'm not positive. Oh, good artwork inside the box too.
Yeah.
Like on
Yeah, it is.
It looks better on the outside than it does on the lid. All right.
No, it's just different. It's neat.
So here we have the player boards, and they are double-sided. This is recessed, and there's some plastic in here, and that'll hold that sort of honeycomb that you'll build your stuff in.
Oh, so this is a red player.
Yeah, so this is the red player's stuff. And you'll put your dice right here, and your little coins there. When you get workers, you put them there, and your
keys.
Yeah, well, that's when you draft a tile, it'll go right there in storage, and then you'll put it in your duchy. And we should have a few of these. They're stored in there every.
Oh, feel the back of that. Wow.
Yeah, it feels nice, doesn't it? You see how they're not warped or anything? These are good. These are really nicely made.
Well, they're two ply.
Yeah, you can see the double board there. Yep. So how many of those do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now we have these other things, and I haven't been all the way through the rules to find out what these mean, or explored these things. But I assume there's some sort of other challenges. Maybe single player. Yeah, I think this is a solo thing right here. And here we have the box. Okay. So take this lid.
Oh, it's even imprinted itself.
Yeah, it's got a nice imprinted logo. And here we have, this is how you tell what turn it is. And they stack on top of each other because...
Yeah, little tower things, right?
Yep.
You want to see one?
Yeah, pull them out. I'll put them in my hand. Put those towers in my hand. See, and this is their sundrop wash, too. If you look inside of it, you'll see kind of what the plastic only looked like. So this is our first glimpse at the wash. They kind of put a little shiny gloss on it. So that's a good look at these first ones. As you can see, it's got a wash on it. It's got the same color, but it's also got what looks to be like a little frosting of some sort. And so as people pull ahead of each other, you'll stack on top. So you can actually, if you get there first, you might end up piled up under a bunch of other people. And I'm guessing that these fit in here someplace.
In the bag?
No, they don't need to be in the bag.
Fine.
I don't think so anyway. Let's just set on the side and we'll figure out where their perfect spot is. We've also got some little standees stands. I'm not sure what that's for. This is our money. They call it silver, like pieces of silver or something like that.
Loot. Silver pieces. Huh.
They are nice, satisfying little metal pieces. I don't know if you can hear that jingling.
Show me the money.
Feels like money, doesn't it?
It does. It does. It feels like quarters. Well, it's a little lighter than quarters.
They're nice and jingly. Jingle money. These are another thing that's a cool upgrade from the paper ones. Are these are the crates. So you can get these little wooden crates and stuff, and these they're made of actual wood.
All right.
And they look like crates on the back.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very satisfying, smooth feel.
So that's another cool thing.
No splintery pieces or scratches.
Yeah, they're all really nicely done.
Smooth.
So between the rounds, as we put things back onto the board, we're going to draw them at random. So those cool tiles are going to go in these bags, and then we're going to pluck them out of the bags, and then that's how we determine what goes onto the board. And because of that, we got all these neat bags. I'm not sure why the black one was packed away, but and they're made so that so that they can stand up, so you can just kind of have them out on your board.
Yeah.
And stuff. And they feel like leather. They're obviously they're probably pleather or something like that. I'm sure they're vegan friendly or something, but they're nice. They feel really good. They feel like really good quality bags for something like this, which is nice. It's nice. I want every component of this to be as nice as it can be, and I think they felt like that too. There's a green one as an example. It feels really nice inside. It's got the nice double stitching on the bottom and stuff. I think it's good. Good. We'll be putting our tiles inside of here later, and then they'll go inside of this. So I'm going to put this aside.
So there's not a... Are these supposed to correlate with these colors?
No, those are the player.
They don't.
those are player colors.
Okay.
And you'll see what they coordinate with in just a second. The last thing that we had kind of loose in here was these dice. So here are the dice. They made these custom dice. I was concerned that these would be a little difficult to read, but it hasn't been bad at all. Especially, you're not having to read things really fast or anything either. It's very satisfying set of dice there. This tray here, what it's meant to do is it's meant to be out on the boards, be like for resources and stuff, and I believe those coins will fit in there. I don't know if I'm not sure where the dice go yet. I can't remember. I actually watched a few unboxings and stuff of these. And Owen had a neat idea too with his, is he just left this bottom piece on. A lot of people have had trouble with this tray like slipping over the side because it's empty right there, so there's not much of a lip to hold it on. So when you put it back in your box, it's going to slide.
That makes sense.
But you can just keep this little bottom part. It's not super sexy, but but like if you're pulling it out to put on your table and you want to look a little nicer, you can leave this part in the box. But I'm definitely going to keep this on here to store it because
Yeah.
I just seem to fit in there better. So stuff will go in there. I'm pretty sure the coins will go in there. I'm not sure. Maybe right here. All right. As we move on down, we've got another whole section here. We're starting to get into what can only be described as the miniatures that come with this game. I'm excited to see my first sun-dropped versions of anything. But first, what we have here are these. These are the honeycombs. These will go over your player board to kind of keep those tiles in order. And they're cool little, they feel a little fragile, but I'm sure they're safe in here. Little plastic things. And these are the Dutchy boards. These will be sort of the framework for what you're going to build. And to keep the game, so there's 4 copies of each version of this. It looks like there's 30 different options. So you can always change your board and have a different type of experience with the game. Fill them in different ways and with different strategies and stuff. Some have lots of mines, or just a few mines, and I'm sure that they perfectly balance them, so it's all fine. They do have some beginner ones that they recommend, and those have been exceedingly simple to understand. So here we have the different player colors, and they match those little towers. Oh, they fit in there? Okay. So these are the scorekeepers for all the different players. And you'll see that they match the little tower player colors that we had out earlier.
Yeah.
And here we have the castles. Now each player gets to take their own type of castle. And there's 4 different ones in here. Now these, the Sundrop looks like just a dirty, kind of a dirty blackwash. It is a little bit neater than the, like these legit look like they were just dipped in ink.
Oh, they're nice.
They don't look bad.
No, not at all. I like it over than just the plain plastic.
Yeah, they don't have the frosting and stuff that the other ones had. But they're neat looking. Let's see if I can get one of each of these. And there's 4 of each of these.
Heck, if you wanted to dry brush it.
Oh yeah, I could totally go back in and do a little work on them if I wanted to. I don't think I will.
No.
You'll see when you play the game. They just don't fulfill that big a... They're just kind of neat.
Right. They're cool castles, though.
The acrylic tiles are also very neat, just kind of on their own.
That?
I got all 4 kinds. Let's see. Okay, so here's the castle. Here's the smallest one. The little castle. Then this one's got big spires. It looks really neat. You can see it's that sort of, looks like just a dirty wash on it. All right. Just, oh gosh. Okay, we got like 2 more of these. And that is it for miniatures and stuff. After that is pure regular board game stuff.
All right.
So what'd you think of the castles? They're pretty cool.
Yeah, they are cool.
They've got a lot of details on them.
I like the big tall one.
Did you get to look at it?
Not really.
Yeah, I think I like that one the best too.
This might be the castle I have, you know, one day when I retire.
That's your retirement castle? Yeah. Boy, I need to work harder. Be sure to subscribe and click like so Holly can live in the castle one day. Alright, so this tray, thankfully, is pretty easy to pack back up. This will be one of the least thinky of the reboxing mechanisms, and it's pretty heavy though. Those all those pieces of paper in there really add up for weight. All right, so in the bottom here, we have our vineyard boards, which are quadruple layered boards with 4 different layers. And these connect right to the side of your duchy and add more places to put tiles for your vineyard.
My goodness.
It also comes with another bag that's meant to hold all the vineyard tiles, which are kind of like the other tiles, but they're doubles. They're like double versions of the other tiles.
Yeah.
And what's tricky about them is they take up a bunch of space in your storage. So when you go to store them, you got to have a place to put 2 things.
Right.
Looks like this is just more of that. And then we have this cute little thing that looks like a trellis.
Oh, look at that.
And what you do with this, if you see the little dice here at the bottom.
Yeah.
So this is another place to choose when you roll your dice, and the vineyard tiles stack up on here. So you can, if you're playing a 2-player game, you do them sideways, and you can have either number. If you do them, if you do it with more people, then you stack them up, so there's more of them to pick from,
Right.
and you have to go from the specific dice roll. And then the other board over there goes on the bottom of this. So
Oh, it's like this.
yeah, something like that. This last box over here, this last area is, these are some cards, and as I understand it, this is for the solo portion. I have not explored solo on this, or watched anybody play it or anything, so I don't know much about it, but it does have a little Chateauama that you can play against. Sometimes those automas are fun, sometimes they're not. It depends. They're really handy for kind of learning the game if the overhead for making it do its automatic stuff isn't like another game in itself to learn. Usually if it's not too bad, I don't mind playing those kinds of things. So we've got a big gap right there. So now's the part where we try to figure out what goes where, but not quite yet, because we have 2 things to open. Now one was meant to go in here, and one was not.
Oh my. What are we gonna do?
All right, so let's just move some stuff aside. So this little box, well, first things first, it's got these acrylic hexes. Now these are the acrylic replacements for all of the hex tiles that we've already opened. So all those sheets of cardboard have been replaced by plastic. And it is heavy. Heavy, heavy, heavy. I mean, this is like a good couple of pounds on its own. But
Which is again the top's embossed.
yeah,
Everything. You can see it.
spared no expense. They're really good with the vacuum formed things.
And these feel so nice.
Yes, this is
That's satisfying.
kind of that level of like Splendor when you first get Splendor and you, wow, those clay chips are really, really nice.
Yeah.
Or Too Many Bones or one of those kinds of things. You got a real nice quality component in these things, and they're kind of shiny and they feel really good. Hopefully they're very strong. Another huge difference between this and say the paper ones though is that these don't have the rules on the back.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
But the help sheets are so helpful. I don't think that's going to be a super huge problem.
Yeah. Plus, we can always refer to the paper ones.
I'm not going to go through and show you all of these. Like, that's what everybody seems to have done already. But we are going to attempt to put this stuff in the box. So we're gonna.
Does it not stay in here?
No.
What?
We're going to put them in here. So we're going to draw these things. So some of these go into that. So there are some things that aren't drawn. So there's like these white things are an expansion, and they're going to be something that you would just kind of pick.
Not there.
So they go into those things.
Right there.
The other thing is these gray ones. These gray ones are the mines, and they're going to have to go out to the table. So we're going to pull those out and put them in here somewhere. I'll let you look at that.
I doubt it. Don't these go in there?
And these also. No. So those things are just out for between round maintenance. Yes. They will somehow. These other tiles like this green, are going to go into the green bag. And the blue ones, also go out into that box.
No, it didn't.
Into this box or another box somehow. All right, so amongst all this mess, I actually have one more thing. So they did make all these inserts and stuff with these acrylics in mind. So supposedly we can make all this work. In fact, if you had just the paper ones, there's a big gap. Oh. And some people were upset that didn't get some of the acrylic or something, that there's this big gap in there. But
fill it with something.
You gotta fill it with something. Fill it with love.
Some emergency peanuts.
Hopes and dreams. So this.
Could you imagine some emergency peanuts?
Yeah, just a little pack of peanuts like shoved in there. I like to keep a pack of peanuts in my glove compartment, and I refer to them as emergency peanuts. And I'm never without peanuts. I'm always ready.
Road trip worthy.
Yeah. So these are another pack of tiles, and these weren't. I don't think they weren't intended to be included necessarily with. And I'm not sure. I think they were like, some folks were like, well, if you made some of the things, some of the chits are still cardboard. Well, couldn't you just make them all nice and premium tiles? And they were like, well, yes, we could. And that's what we have here. So these are for the vineyard expansion, and these are sort of the some bonus tiles. They're kind of dark. Let's see if I get on the other side here. Yeah, these are a little prettier. These are a little bit easier to see, but of course these are just like the vineyard tiles, but they're a little bit just a little bit nicer. The other kinds of tiles we have are the worker tiles.
Really, both are very nice. This does have a nice slick kind of quality, like coins.
It's just a little extra. It's just a little extra and nice. This is the workers. Again, just like the regular workers. And the deal with these are, you start off with a couple of these, or one or two of these, and you can get more throughout the game. But they can make your dice roll up or down one. Okay. And you can spend as many as you want. So if you really wanted to get your dice from 4 to 2, you could minus it, 3 times.
Yeah, because what if you are the person that
a couple times
rolls 5s all the time?
Right. Yeah.
These help unstuck you, huh?
Now, these are one of the things that if they were paper, they would be included in there. So we'll have to see if we can make those fit.
Oh.
The other
maybe that's the extra space people were upset about.
Well, I think it's mainly in the tiles themselves. Once we start getting them into the trays and stuff. So these are shields. This was another expansion. I'm not as familiar with this one. And what's entailed in playing with these. But that's something else that they did. Alright, so right here we have a selection of the rest of the kinds of tiles that we're going to see in here. Here's some point bonus tiles and some other tiles and some of the little coins that you put down when you go over 100 or over 200. Man, you're really rolling if you're going around twice like that. Maybe. I played about 4 games of this, and all of them have been just a whole lot of fun, but I can't remember what my score was on anything. So,
did you win any of them?
No. But that's so normal. I don't even think about it really. I think about it every day. All right, so
got one.
So we're gonna pull it out of here in a minute anyway. All right, so we're gonna take a look at all this stuff, and then I'm gonna see how best to fit it in there, or if I can fit it in to these trays, and then we'll be right back to show you how we did it.
Hey, party people. Ooh, 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 ooh.
She's so happy because we're almost done.
Because I organized, and it's beautiful.
Oh, yes. So all the paper ones that we're not going to use at all, we've put back into the box that came with the acrylic tiles. And there's plenty of room for them, for both them and the ones that the other one replaced. The other extra acrylic tiles. It's kind of confusing to mention that. So there's the big box and then the small box. But all of those and the little standees and stuff for the player scores and all that stuff, they all pack nicely away. So if you're not intending to throw that away, there is a nice way you can keep them and throw that in wherever you store your dusty expansions in case you're going to sell them one day and the collector wants all of it. You know, so you still got it all.
You still have it all, or if you want to use these when you're out, I don't know, doing something else that you don't want to use your plastic ones for.
Yeah.
Whatever. Or if you lose pieces, you have extra.
Maybe you're taking your things to play someplace where they're likely to be eaten, and you want it to pass better through the intestines.
Yeah, who knows?
Perhaps cardboard's a better choice. Those do have the different things that they do written on the back. So maybe if like you want to do some training wheels, or you don't like having those worksheets, those little player aids for some reason. If you don't want any of that, you can always break these back out.
Yeah.
Cool. So I went through this box and I've organized everything, and then I've pulled it, kind of opened it back up so I can pack it back along with you. It's a little kludgy. It does not close 100%, but it comes really close. Probably close enough that I can live with it. It's going to have to.
Well, and we could have probably put some of this under here.
Well, it seems like I could have shaved off another inch or two. Or, well, I cut half an inch. Like, I mean, I'm so close.
An inch or two.
Not inch or two. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, no, maybe like a quarter inch or something. I might be able to squish something down just perfectly and make it fit. But I honestly don't think it's worth it. It fits pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with that. So let me show you what I did. Okay, so right here in the bottom of the box, I did not really mess with this much, except that those these little cardboard pieces here get tucked into this. They seem to fit perfectly right here in this area, and then these Automa cards go here. There is a little extra space here, so you could very easily sleeve these and still have room. So that's kind of neat. In fact, Owen already had his sleeved when he brought it over the other day. I'm like, where did you get those sleeves? Because what a weird size card, right? He's like, I already had them and stuff.
Of course.
He sleeves a lot of his stuff. Yeah, do the best you can with these. I've seen a couple of people do this in different ways. If you wanted to really like maximize the efficiency of space, you can take all those things out and kind of have them stacked up in here or lined up really, really nice and neat, and then kind of fold the bag and get it in there. Or you could pour them all in the bag and like just kind of live with the fact that it's just like maybe just the tiniest little bit over what it normally would be if it was sitting flat. There's no lid on the top of this particular tray. And I mention that because it's really easy to get confused. I actually kept trying to put the next tray's lid on this one. I kept thinking that there was another lid someplace, but apparently no. The next tray is just going to fit on top of that. The other thing I've got in here too are these little vineyard tokens. I wanted to put them in the bag so they wouldn't be all over the place. Of course, I did not seal the bag, kind of defeating the purpose of the bag. Does this bag even seal? I put a janky bag in there. It's got a janky bag. We'll have to replace that. I'll swap that out later. We'll see what happens with that. And I have the shields here on the other side. There's no other cards than this. So these look like they would fit some sort of card or a deck or something, but obviously they're for more tokens. So this expansion fits nice in here, and this of course goes with the other vineyard stuff. Speaking of other vineyard stuff, there's the rest of the vineyard board, and that fits really nicely on top. That is obviously meant to go right there, and then
Looks like boards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, then there's these things, the vineyards themselves, and what we found is that they are meant to. They came out of the box stacked like this, and they really do work really well that way because they're quadruple layered, so they'll fit nicely together if you do that, and they won't stick up any extra. And so let me just get these going here. And that one like this way, so just go opposite ways with them. So next I've got all these big boards. They're almost like placemats and stuff, and I'm not sure what they're for. There's lots of other player modes, but I'm going to put them in here to kind of be a little separator between these two layers. And then we're going to do this one. Now this box is also a little tricky because it's kind of separated into two, because one box is meant to go sit with you next to the board. So of course all the pieces are in their bags, and they're just kind of put into this little shelf here on this side. And over here, these of course are fitting in exactly the way they're meant to. The workers are kind of put in a funny way, and they do stick up slightly because they're the acrylic ones. The other thing I had to do is, like, you'd always be stuck with this one that didn't fit. So I just kind of put it face up on here, and it's still well below the lid length, which doesn't matter anyway, since these are sticking up that little extra bit. There's that little extra bit that the box is sticking up. So I keep having to make these little compromises and stuff, but not too often, just especially right here is where it shows the most.
You think they were supposed to be laid flat?
Well, if these were cardboard, they would fit it. They would all fit, okay. And they'd be they would actually fit a different direction. They'd fit right here, all of them.
Right. Gotcha.
Right, so I'm going to put this in first. And then I got this idea from Owen. Owen was doing this with his. He's got this little piece of cardboard in, and it's mainly for when you're not using it. So like if you pull it out to play, you just pull this out. But what you want to do if you decide to use this, you need to put this in second. If you put this in first, or put this whole thing down in there, and then fit this thing next to it, it'll get caught on this cardboard, and it can mess it up a little bit. So it works great for not doing that little slope where it kind of would dip down. A lot of other people try to do it with just this part, and it's so thin right here that it would kind of dip down into the corner. So put this in first, press that down in there, and then you can easily just get this thing inside of it, and you're good to go.
And this has a lid.
Yeah, and that one does have a lid that will go on top and hopefully keep all these things safe, relatively safe at least, or in place. Oh, we got a little cord sticking out. Okay. It's a little bulky there, but it's not too bad. Not bad really at all. Next we'll do the
weighted.
We got one last tray with all the castles and the little duchy options. This is kind of heavy too, so it's good to have it right there to kind of weight everything down. Then we got the player boards, which are super bulky. There's not really.
They had these.
They had them
that way too.
Yeah, they had them every other way too, but I don't think that really helps. It might help with friction or something. And then we have the thing that pushes it over is actually this, which I could leave out. I mean, I've got the mat, but I want to be able to grab this box and take it and play it, and I won't necessarily take the mat everywhere I go. And the little player aids and the rules, which just to be anal, we'll put those down there, and then the rules on top,
which is fairly flush.
Not bad, not too bad, overall, I'd say. We'll see.
Oh, see, look. It went
yeah.
all the way down.
Pretty much all the way
Pretty much
down.
all
Yeah.
the way down.
Oh, I'm so close. I'm so close. Let's take a look. Yeah. Not bad. This is perfectly acceptable, especially since it's set up in a way that it was not intended.
Yeah.
Which is always kind of funny. But will it tumble? And here we go. Oh man.
I don't hear anything.
I hear nothing. Nothing at all moving around.
Shake it. Shake it.
Upside down.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, turbulence. Run an airplane. 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 Okay. Then we take a look. Oh. Yeah, I heard no movement in there whatsoever. Everything looks great.
Hey. All right.
Yeah, this is
Very
where
nice.
this is what that gap is where I expected to see everything shifting around, but it looks good. Looks good all the way down.
Nothing
Ta-da!
to see there. Yeah.
Yeah, the cards are shifted around a little bit.
That's it.
That's it. Once I get some of those sleeves from Owen. Or figure out what sleeves they are. Then I'll have no room in there and it'll be perfect. Perfect, I say. Let me get this a little closer.
I was trying to say, we're so far away.
All right.
Now your head's chopped off. No, it's perfectly okay.
All right.
You're not going to use that anyway, right?
You never know. All right, folks. Now I'm going to just put all of this back in the box again, and say goodnight. Thank you for joining us on this kind of this unboxing, this rambling, this look at Castles of Burgundy, a game I predict will be Holly's favorite game.
So he says, we'll see.
I say it over and over again. We'll see.
He says that to get me to play games.
It works.
I do like castles, so. Right.
What do you like so far? I mean, this is some.
I like the components, yeah.
The components are neat, at least.
Yeah, what I like so far, and I have no idea how to play the game, but it has dice, it has little token things, and you can select things without having to play cards to kill people and maneuver around the board. So I'm good with that.
Yeah, so one of the first games in a while we've had that they'll have like cards as a major component in it. There's like almost no cards in this at all, so that's kind of neat. Sort of tile placement, but with shopping and dice rolling, lots of colors, and animals.
Yeah.
Holly's going to like the animals a lot.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up there. We'll be back soon with another video. Until next time, enjoy your games, and we'll see you soon.
All right, good night.
Bye.